edition Black Hole Podcast / YouTube channel / whatever else. Today I'm going to talk about religion slightly, but two religions in particular, Islam and Christianity. The two I'm most familiar with, I would say that. The two I know the most about, the two I do believe influence African Americans the most, because those are the two predominant religions that African Americans follow. Also, even in the continent itself, those are the two main religions, Christianity, Islam. So we're going to talk about that today. Not necessarily verses, just bringing out some different points of each different belief system that I find to be interesting and beneficial or not so beneficial. For me, I was raised Christian background, grandfather's father, preachers, typical Southern type Christianity. And from that vantage point, I always got to see, whereas it's more something you do. Christianity, to me, it seems like something, it was taught to me anyway, experience, something that you do sometimes, a couple days a week, special occasions, holidays. It's not a path necessarily you live. It's just a way, a thing you do every now and then. It's not supposed to influence your life outside of the church. It really doesn't influence your life outside of whenever you do pray. It's a situation where you have to pray, a situation where you need to call upon God or Jesus, for that matter. It doesn't really influence, it has nothing to do with that. It's like once you leave the church, once you put your Bible down, it's back to living however you want to live. I don't think that's just me also. I think that's predominant, not just African American Christianity, but also Christianity as a whole. Even when you look at Catholics, even you go to your Catholic mass, you get forgiven for whatever you did that week, and you go back to your life. I think Christianity, in its original form, I don't know how it must have been, but it adopted to the secular Western ways to survive, and as a result, it's become a religion that, it's just every now and then religion. You do it as part of ceremony. It's no longer a path. It's no longer a path to guide you. Now, I know some people, they do use it as a path to guide them. It guides them in their everyday decisions. It guides them through life and whatever they do. But that's not the predominant way it's used, and that's not the predominant way it's promoted. I believe, in my belief, that's not how it's promoted, or not how it's applied. It's applied more so something you do occasionally, something you do to feel good. Let's say you're having a bad day. Let's say something tragic happens. Say something difficult's happening. Oh, God will find a way. Oh, you pray for something good to happen to you. You pray for a new job. You pray you pray for the health of your loved ones. And that it's like a single act. It doesn't carry to the day-to-day, everyday operation of yourself. It's not like a holistic program. Some people might disagree with this, but that's how I've interpreted it. That's how I've encountered it my whole life. Islam, but when I know about it, I got an uncle that converted, but I would say maybe African American Islam is probably different from how they practice in different countries. It varies, It looks like it might vary, just like Christianity varies. But one thing about it I see is that Islam is more of a day-to-day thing. It's like, okay, you do this, you do that. It has rules for doing certain things. Rules for doing most things. It has rules and a certain procedure, certain way of operation that you should follow on a day-to-day thing. It's like, do this. You should do this. You should do that. You should do this. You should do that. This is how things are to be done. It's it's a organized thing. It's very organized. It doesn't seem to be that it's promoted as, okay, on this certain day you do this certain festival and that's it, or this certain holiday you do this and then you go back and do whatever you want to the next day. It's not promoted that way. Do people use it that way? Maybe so, but in my observation, it seems to me a more holistic way of life religion as opposed to something concerning just with spirituality or the afterlife or those sorts of things. I'm not even quite sure about Islam's views on the afterlife, but Christianity is so much about the afterlife, about going to heaven, being rewarded, going to heaven. I don't see Islam promoted that way, as your primary goal is to be rewarded later on. It seems to be the primary goal is to follow this certain path now as you're living. That that does resonate with me because I'm a person where I'm not, afterlife, I've never, as a little kid, it makes sense to me. I was like, okay, why? Who cares? You're dead. Whatever happens after you're dead, it doesn't really matter to me. But I'm more concerned about the everyday, how to get through the day, how to get through tomorrow in a productive way. And I do like the orderliness of Islam. I do like that. I enjoy the orderliness of it, and the theology itself, not so much. I mean, I'm not going to ever convert. I would never convert to Islam. I would never convert to any new religion, existing religion. I wouldn't, no way, because they all got their gaps in logic, and that really doesn't work for me. But I like the order of things, and if I see something I like, if I see something that works, then I'm gonna try to implement some of that. And I like the Islamic lifestyle. A lot of those things appeal to me. A lot of those things do, and I'll be implementing those things for myself. When I have a family, implement those things without necessarily the theology of it. That's my attempt anyway. But culturally, historically, I got those Christian roots, you see. So I'll never abandon that fully. The concept of God that I formed, through my Christian years is constantly evolving. I see God as a force, not necessarily a being that has influence and interaction with you on a data one-to-one level, like a one-to-one individual level. I don't see God as something like that. I see God as this thing that can't quite be defined or fully understood. I see it more that way. I see Christianity, Islam, other religions as a path, possibly to reach this unknownness, this unknowableness. It's a different path, so it's okay to add things from one path or another path. See what works best for you. And that sums it up for the most part. What I think about those two different ways of doing things. I'll always I'll go to church again in the future. I'm sure. I definitely want to have, whenever I have children, I want them to experience that. But I'll be going to the typical Southern African American type church because that's culturally that's significant to me. Maybe not now. The theology of Christianity, the teaching, the practices aren't that significant to me, but culturally, it definitely is. That communion, being in a place with the people, trying to do something positive, the music, the singing, that's part of me culturally, so I'll never deny that. And that part would embrace necessarily the theology and how it's applied. No, I like some Islam things that, I'm going to look more into that. Also looking more into some traditional West African practices too. I'm going to implement those too. So I figure in this world, you see it, you like it, you can try working into your own lifestyle. So that completes this one. Stay tuned for the next.